Welcome to Stay Inspired 86. This is where we bring you inspirational stories to help you become stronger every day. If you love motivation and personal growth, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss any valuable content. Today, let's listen to the story, The Old Wooden Chair. A break is not the end. This chair had been broken for 30 years. No one thought it could ever stand again, but then a little boy and his grandfather decided not to throw it away. This is not just a story about a chair. It's about something deeper, the strength of things once broken, but never abandoned. In a corner of an old woodworking shop, Mr. Leon, a retired craftsman, sat in front of the very first chair he had ever made. It had only 3 legs left, its paint chipped, joints loose, and its edges worn over time. Rio, his young grandson, stepped in, sunlight filtering through the floating specks of dust in the air. He asked, "Grandpa, why do you still keep this chair?" "It can't even be used anymore." Mr. Leon gently smiled, his fingers softly tracing the cracks. "Because it taught me something. That even things that seem useless can become stronger than ever, if we know how to fix them." That night he told Rio about breaks far bigger than that of the chair. The time he ruined his first big order and was yelled at in front of all the workers. The time people told him his craft was outdated, no longer valuable. And the time he lost his wife. He closed the workshop and didn't touch a single piece of wood for an entire year. But every time he felt like giving up, he returned, sat beside the old chair, looked at its crack to remember why he had begun in the first place. He remembered the quiet afternoons when his wife used to sit on that very chair, sipping tea and humming old melodies. Sometimes she would gently place her hand on his shoulder while he carved, silently, lovingly. The chair held those moments. The breaks weren't just physical. They were echoes of everything they had once built, once lost, once cherished. A few days later, Rio brought out a hammer. The boy wanted to learn woodworking. Mr. Leon didn't ask him to build anything grand. He simply said, "Fix this chair. But don't replace any parts. Use what's broken to heal it." And so the two of them got to work. No machines, no rush, just hands. They slowly sanded the wood, rejoined the old wooden pegs. Day by day, Rio made mistakes, pieces didn't align. His hands slipped, but each time Mr. Leon would nod and say, "Good, that's how you learn. Wood forgives, if you treat it with care." They weren't just fixing a chair, they were fixing themselves. And one day, the chair stood firm again, not beautiful, not shiny, but full of soul and sturdy. Rio took a photo of the chair and posted it online with the caption, "My grandfather said, if life breaks one of your legs, don't throw yourself away. Maybe that break is what will make you stronger than ever." The post went viral. Strangers came to see it. Some sat on it and cried. Some brought their disabled children just to place a hand on the chair and whisper, "Thank you for not throwing it away." Journalists arrived. A woman knelt beside the chair and asked, "Do you think healing is only for wood?" Mr. Leon smiled and replied, "No. Healing is always an invitation, not just for chairs, but for anyone who's forgotten their worth." When Rio officially took over the workshop, Mr. Leon hung the chair on the wall. He carved a line into it with his own hands. Every crack is a reminder you were once broken, but you never let go. Years passed. Rio became a skilled craftsman. Customers didn't come for perfect furniture, they came for meaning. His pieces weren't flawless, but each one had a soul, a story, a quiet strength. He taught the village children how to carve. He told them the story of the old wooden chair. And every time someone asked if the story was true, he'd smile and say, "Sit down, feel it." then tell me what you believe. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to not give up. Because sometimes that's what makes you unforgettable. If you've ever had a crack in your life, quietly place your hand over it. Maybe that's where the most beautiful things begin to bloom. Thank you for listening.